Hello, Goddess. Welcome back. This is Andrea with You Are Mind, Body, Soul. And in this space, I guide goddesses to bridge the mind, body, and soul through psychosomatic education, consciousness reconditioning, as well as alchemy and energetics. Welcome back. So happy to be here in my sparkly sweater. I'm so excited, y'all. I'm about to go to the circus. I'm going to see Cirque du Soleil. So I got my sparkly blazer on today. Makes me feel good. I'm probably gonna do like some rhinestones. I need more glitter for real. How are you feeling? Come on in, grab yourself something to drink. Today, we are going to talk about how to overcome decision fatigue so that you can level up your manifestations and unlock your feminine energy. This video is a part 2 from the previous video, Stop Sabotaging Your Manifestations, because I felt like there was more to be had there when I was done with that video. And so I wanted to continue to move through this topic. And what we're going to do today is clarify some more masculine and feminine energy skills and techniques so that we can marry those things into our goddess energy. Before I go too deep into the topic, I want to remind you to please like this video so that the algorithm can do its magical, mysterious thing. Please share this video so that other goddesses such as yourself can receive this information. And please remember to subscribe and tap that notification bell. Welcome to my new subscribers. Thank you so much for being here. So yeah, let's get into it. So what is decision fatigue? Decision fatigue is a big deal in today's society. Decision fatigue can drive some people crazy, particularly people that are in their masculine energy. Decision fatigue is when it happens, number one, from being on autopilot and the wrong. So there's good autopilot, and then there is not good autopilot. Like it's good for some aspects on of your life to be automatic and auto populated, but some aspects of your life actually need you to be present to make those healthy decisions, especially those things that are going to affect your health and well-being long term, which ultimately equates to your daily decisions and habits. Right? So, decision fatigue actually comes when you are making too many decisions in a short period of time. So when you wake up and you start your day and people are hitting you up for different things, requesting different things of you. You wake up, you got things dropping into your DMs, you got emails regarding things that you need to respond to. You show up to work, people are asking you, like your boss is asking you to start a new project. You come home, your kids are needing things from you, or something happens with the dog. Now you got to make a decision, a decision on that. But oh my God, you forgot to eat dinner. You forgot to make dinner. Now you got to decide what you want for dinner. And you've had this really long day full of having to make these situational responses and you're fatigued. So you probably go for that bag of chips and you put in that TV dinner. God, I hope y'all are not eating TV dinners, but let's say you go grab that TV dinner and you've made a challenging decision for your health. In that moment, while you were fatigued, all of your energy that could have been utilized to make a healthy decision, you have had to take and draw a little bit of your energy at a time on an hourly basis to respond and put out these small fires, or to respond to these requests, these numerous requests and these numerous things that are just demanding your energy on an hourly, daily basis. It is fatiguing. And this is why So many people have adrenal fatigue, and women in particular, our logical thinking capacities are so sharp and so healthy. Even though we are feeling and emotional beings, most majority of women have been bred to think logically and to overthink because we just live in a baseline hyper masculinized society. So when it comes to making so many small decisions, like back to back to back to back in a short period of time, you can wear yourself out. And we know exactly what the detriments and the red flags are that contribute to adrenal fatigue, because I've talked about it now for two videos in the Feminine Women Live Longer videos. I did two videos on this talking about how adrenal fatigue happens. And not being able to make healthy decisions, which set you on a path for healthy habits and patterns, leads to decision fatigue, which is might as well just say, give me a pill for adrenal fatigue. Just age me up. Just skip the filter, age me up right now. Like, you just asking to age faster. You're asking to make life difficult, and you're sucking the creative energy out of your life. You're sucking the juiciness out of your life. And now your cup is empty. So we want to stop being in a place where we are putting ourselves into decision fatigue. Okay. This can show up in the form of just not making healthy decisions because you don't have the mental clarity or the energetic capacity to focus and filter through what a bad decision is, like we talked about with the food. This can be frustration. So now you have taken a moment, you're in stride, you have a task at hand that you're doing. Could be as simple as running an errand and going and, putting a stamp on something for your mom. Okay. And in the process of going to the post office, you read an email before you left the house. You've got that in the back of your mind. You're trying to figure out how you're going to respond to that. You've got somebody that's calling you. You got a friend that's called you. They need you to, pick their kid up next weekend. You haven't even gotten to the post office yet, and now you got all this stuff. You just carrying these burdens, and you're having to think about these different things. So now you're frustrated because you have programmed yourself to believe that you have to respond to whatever comes up, whatever pops up in that moment. Like, the one thing that I will never do is answer a phone call while I'm in the gym. Like, that's sacred time. And so what we have to learn is what is sacred time, what is clearly defined time for ourselves, and what is clearly defined time for things external. Okay, so that you're not getting frustrated and you're not interrupting this juicy frequency of feminine embodiment and feminine flow that we strive to maintain in this space and in this community. Okay. Another form of decision fatigue would be where you are just allowing yourself to be subordinate to other people. Other people are basically telling you how to live and how to be, and their demands are number one. So now you are subjugating yourself to other people's needs. And that is not an authentic expression of who you are, because you can't be authentic to yourself while biting away and eating and letting other people eat away at your boundaries. If your boundaries are not intact, you don't know what your boundaries are, there is no way that you can be an authentic expression or a real and true authentic friend. Okay. So this is how decision fatigue actually shows up. It shows up when we are constantly frustrated about life because you're always just letting people just pouring out of your cup. People are eating away at your boundaries. They're not clear and defined. You don't know what they are. And you are just making all of these decisions for these instantaneous needs, out of the blue needs, or maybe you're just so used to these things happening that is regular for you, and you're drained, and the last priority is your health. And this just can't be. We can't call ourselves feminine goddess beings in tune with our goddess frequency and our goddess self and not have these things set in place for ourselves. So I'm so happy that you're here. Let me know in the comments below if you feel where I'm coming from, if you're tired of having to make decisions for everybody. Like, are you that person where if you decided to not show up for people for a half a day, that their world, like, where would their world be? Okay. And I know that some of you have children, and there's a way in which you can finesse being able to take care of yourself and also take care of other people. I know that we legitimately have to take care of other people, but we don't want to do it at a detriment to ourselves. Okay. So the next thing that we are going to talk about is how these notes are crazy. Like, these notes don't have no rhyme or reason on them. So I'm like trying to sort through my notes. I'm like a little discombobulated because, again, like how I told you in the last video, I told you, gang, that my manifestations are coming in very quickly. And so for me, it's requiring that I have to have a larger capacity, and I have to give more of my time for what the manifestation is that I asked for. So pardon me if I have been stuttering lately in these videos. I still want to continue to show up on YouTube for y'all consistently. And I'm about to start getting busier this season. We are in the divine masculine season, and my divine masculine energy can be off the Richter scale as far as my productivity and my energetic output. And so that's also why I want to deliver in this season these divine feminine and masculine balancing topics, so that I can support you as well through the transitions that I know we are all making out here. All right. So please like the video. That is just like the most amazing thing that you could do to show your support for this consistent free content that I put out here. So how do we do this? Okay. So the number one thing that I do to help myself with decision fatigue and to be able to prepare for the demands of my day-to-day living is something that I call clearing my psychic space. So what is your psychic space? Your psychic space is the space that governs your responses to everything that is happening in your life. So our behaviors and our beliefs and our actions are governed by our subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is the part of the psyche that allows us to move through life without having to think too deeply about these moment to moment actions. So the subconscious mind knows how to drive you home from work. The subconscious mind knows how to put together your quickest, most favorite meal. The subconscious mind has a habit and a routine that you partake in at the end of your day. It's like you don't have to think about it. You come home, you throw that jacket on the hook, you take that bra off, you take that wig off. No, I'm just kidding. Like, you have your process. You don't think about it. You run through the same activities and every day. Okay. Like, this is just how you're built in your subconscious mind. So it being a precursor for your behavior is something that we can control when we slow down and we decide what those habits are going to be. But moving back to the psychic space, which is your subconscious mind, and oftentimes there's like this subtle conversation that is happening, this subtle mental chatter and conversation and narration that we're having about life in response to what happened to us from that day or from a previous day, that we kind of just hold on, and then it just plays in the back of your head. This is a part of your psychic space. So it's like having clutter that you can't see. So you're going through your daily habits, you're doing things, but like as you move through it, your life, you're moving with the thought of, dang, I gotta go home and what am I gonna have for dinner? Dang, like I woke up and I came into work today and that one coworker, she's got that attitude again. And so like now you're frustrated and it's in the back of your mind. That is psychic clutter. So cleaning out your psychic space is something that I would recommend. And the way that you can do this is at the end of your day or at the start of your day. Hopefully, at the start of your day, you don't have a tremendous amount of psychic clutter. And having a good evening ritual is definitely going to help you to have minimal psychic clutter. And there are so many reasons that we want to have good sleep hygiene, which I have mentioned before on topics like going into the dream realm. It's like our second life. We spend a third of our lives or two-thirds of our lives sleeping. And so sleep hygiene is essential to quality of life. But I don't want to go too deeply into that tonight. But clearing out your psychic space is just taking a moment to address the things that are niggling you in the back of your mind and kind of just doing a purge, doing a release. You can do that in the shower and just feel the day washing off of you, feeling your problems and your troubles washing off of you if you connect really well with water. You could have, so let's just go through the elements, okay? You could light a candle at the end of your day before you go to bed, whenever you're done, with your evening process, and just light a candle and stare into the candle. And you can take each like subject matter or each thing that's bothering you, and you can stare into the candle and you can transmute it into the candle. You can use the element of air by talking it out, speaking it out to yourself. And sometimes you may need a soundboard, and sometimes it's better to just vent it out and then to just get it out. And then one of the ways that I recently learned how to clear my psychic space is actually comes from one of the meditations that I've been doing, and I actually teach you how to do this inside of my latest course. And it's called an energy conversion box. It's honestly my favorite way. I do it before I meditate, and I've been meditating for like twice a day for several weeks now. And so what I like to do is I like to take this box. I imagine a box in my mind and I imagine the things that are bothering me and I throw them into the box, and then I put a heavy lid on the box and I put it to the side. So it's called an energy conversion box, and you can practice that in your mind's eye and just push it to the side and then step away from it. So we have water, fire, air, and then we have earth. Another way of clearing out your psychic space is just sitting and grounding. I also use a grounding mat once or twice a day, and you can just sit down and put your feet on a grounding mat and feel that energy leaving you. Also, you can go for a walk, listen to some music, and a lot of times like just connecting with the earth in that way, go sit on the actual earth, will help to take that residual psychic energy off of you, and it will help to actually ground your energy. So you can ground with a psychic mat, with a grounding mat. You can go outside and take a walk, or you can just sit like we do in all of the meditations that we do in these videos, and you could just start by just sitting in place where you are, connecting with the surface and feeling the roots growing out of your feet and out of the base of your spine. You can also do visualization exercises on that as well. So clearing out your psychic space, I do that every day. Every day I clear out my psychic space, and I also have other energy clearing techniques that I have taught in the 14-day mind body soul reset course, and other videos that I have probably uploaded as well. Okay. So another way that we can avoid decision fatigue is learning how to be decisive about what it is you want and who you want to be. And that's what I have noted here. Okay. And the quickest way to find out what you want is to look at what you don't want. So take a look at what you don't want, whatever's taking up your psychic space, whatever it is your subconscious mind is complaining about, or whatever the tape recorder of your mind is complaining about. You know that that is something that you do not want. Okay. And so what you want to do is take the time to slow down. You have to slow down. You have to let your feminine energy, you have to shift the gears into your feminine energy to slow down, to receive the answers to these things. It's not just going to happen from the masculine energy plane of consistent go. So you have to slow down and you have to look at some of the scenarios and some of the instances in your life that you have, be honest with them, and then ask yourself, what would be the alternative to this? And once you decide what the alternative is to that, you can draw that as your intention for what it is you want to manifest and what it is you want to connect. Okay. Step 2, you can write this down. Pause the video, write it down. Step 3 is asking yourself, what is the next best step that I can take to get me closer to that thing? Okay. And this is going to be a physical action that you're going to take to get you closer to that thing. And in the previous video, you can take a look at that previous video for more information on how to embody that in your energy with your feminine energy. Okay. So you really want to decide what it is that you want and what is the next best step, because sometimes decision fatigue can turn up in the form of us not being decisive and in the form of us circling through the same patterns in the same stage of our life because we are so fixated on the final product, the final manifestation of it, that we don't attune ourselves and connect to what is the next step. Okay. Sometimes you're looking at too much of the bigger picture and not enough of what is the small picture, what is the next step. So decide, what is the next step that I can employ my masculine energy towards to get me to that next level. And a hint is going to be something that you can chisel away at a little bit day by day. And when you do that, another masculine energy skill set is to do it at the same time of day so that you can incorporate it into your schedule, thereby making it a lifestyle habit. Because any habit that you are creating today is the lifestyle that you live tomorrow and in your future. So whatever habit it is you have, whether they are productive habits or non-productive habits, are gearing you up for the lifestyle that you have in your future. Man, let me tell you, myself in my 20s, in my younger 20s, I had life all types of messed up. I did not set myself up for success. I wish that I would have had this information when I was in my 20s. Like in my 20s, I was so busy being so angsty. Like I was so angsty and just so not into what society was talking about that I did not want to play the game. I screwed my credit up. I did take care of my health, though. I will say that my health was on point. And I was just so busy feeling so upset, and I was feeling bad for myself up until like my mid late 20s that I really set myself back. And in my mind, I was like, you know what? That's future me's problem. I legit remember being like that's future me's problem. I'm not gonna worry about that. Like I'll just deal with it when I'm in my 30s. And here I am, like figuring things out in my 30s, my late 20s and my 30s, what these small habits are. So there's micro habits. You can read that book, Atomic Habits. It's a fantastic book. And you can create these micro habits to help you to create the foundation for the lifestyle of your future self. Because, like we talked about in the previous video on Stop Sabotaging Your Manifestations, your manifestations are always going to come with an evolution of your personality. So your future self's personality is the personality that you are practicing striving on embodying at this present moment. Okay. So what else do I have here? Clearing out your psychic energy, the various ways in which we can clear out our psychic energy. And then The last thing that I want to talk about is why we want to eliminate decision fatigue. And it is because we always want to be growing. We always want to be leveling up. That's why you're on this channel. That's why you continue to show up. And I appreciate you so much. There is always more to be had through the activation of our feminine energy. And feminine energy needs to be supported with healthy masculine energy. That is what makes us goddesses. And that is what makes us step into the alignment of our goddess frequency, is because we have a full spectrum perspective of our existence. We recognize that we have masculine, feminine energy. We recognize that we are divinely supported and guided and fueled and inspired. And we also recognize that there is an innocence and a youthfulness that also drives us to create. That is the goddess energy. And when we are allowing ourselves time to make clear decisions in the form of taking a step back, getting clear about what we want, which also includes healthy scheduling skills. So, a part of clearing out the psychic clutter also concerns taking the time, having so one of the things that I do is at the start of the week, I have my Monday ritual. I take every Monday off because it's the moon day. I'm deeply connected with my intuition about the week coming up. And I feel the most restful on Mondays. So one of the boundaries that I have with corporate America is that I do not work on Mondays. I might work for myself and show up for a client because that feeds my soul's calling, but I will not show up for a corporate job on Monday unless they're paying me like six figures or more. Okay. But the Monday ritual, having that ritual is where I structure the week. So when you structure your week, you can take that time to set boundaries on when you're going to have time for other people and when you're going to have time for yourself. And when you set boundaries, you have to hold yourself accountable for them. So if you know that you have a certain friend or a certain person in your life that inevitably wants to call and to talk to you and to drag your goddess vibration down to complain about something that they were complaining about last week, you can set an agreement with yourself to uphold the boundary of, this is the time frame where I have time and space for that person or for that thing. And at the end of the week, like your Sunday or even on your Monday, do a check in. Like, make sure you have an agenda or a journal. Do a check in and say, this boundary that I set for myself this week, did I uphold this boundary? Yes or no? And on a scale of, let's say, 1 to 5, how good did I do with upholding that boundary and upholding this standard of structure that I created for myself? And what's going to happen is you are going to call a lot of that power back to you that you have just been funneling out and fueling and fleshing out indiscriminately. And you will find that you have more time for play, for that feminine, juicy embodiment. You have time to go to the circus. Which I'm so excited about. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, had lots of fun in this one. Please check out my previous video. Check out the website, yambs.co. Love you, and I will catch you in the next one. Mwah.